Gymnasium. Nathan Robillard, Brandon LaJoy with you. Pleasure to be alongside you on ESPN Plus. And Brandon, this is a tale of a Rhode Island team just getting going on the year. Harvard looking to stay hot. Here is the starting lineup for the visitors.
Got Bryn Faltinsky, Corinne Fury, Alexander Farquhar, Riley Resmer, Riley Patterson, and Rocky Aguirre.
That is the starting lineup for Harvard. Heading over on the other end for the hosts 2 days ago, a win versus Merrimack. They're second in 3 matches and second of the season. This is how they line up. Leading the line, the Disu sisters, Maddie and Megan. Chloe Abuto also in the lineup. Haven Roll, who had a fantastic match last time out. Emma Venti and Katie Butler also in the starting lineup for Rhode Island, looking to gain the momentum they have not seen in a couple of years here. The last time they got off to 2 wins in their first 7 games was the COVID-shortened 2020 season. The last full season that they got more than 2 wins in this stretch was 2018. As for Harvard, last year they went 3-0 for the first time since 2001. They do it back-to-back this year, swept the competition at the Harvard Invitational last time out. Last 2 matches did go to 5 sets. They came back from 2 sets down, most recently against UNH. This is a team that knows how to battle, and they'll look to do that today on the road for the first time.
Definitely, Nathan. And a big part of today's game is going to be Haven Roll. An unbelievable game against Merrimack. Definitely going to be very important in this Rhode Island offense.
Led the team with 16 kills. That was a career high as a freshman, and it just seemed like every time she got at the net, it was a Rhode Island point. We're underway. Harvard serve first. Rhode Island looking to get off to a good start. Initially blocked at the net by the Crimson. Rhode Island looking to respond. Crafty play to start things from Megan Disu. And Rhode Island strike first.
Very sneaky right there. Had 2 Harvard defenders going up to block. Just pops it right over them. A little bit of a changeup.
Eddie Lamoureux will serve first for Rhode Island. They have a 1-0 lead early in this match. Returned by Farquhar. Up towards Fury, sets it up all the way over the net. Rhode Island a chance to attack. They'll do it. This time the other Disu sister over, but Harvard recovers. Again, Fury goes for it. Rhode Island able to save, and they somehow get it back over the net. A long rally and only the second point of the game. The kill too much for Katie Butler to handle, and Harvard equalize.
A very, very impressive effort there to save that, as we see right here.
They just tapped the net a little bit too much for Butler to recover. She was very good in that position last match as well, and she was oftentimes the one that assisted and set up players like Haven Roll for her career-high night. Harvard get the ball back, and serving is Taya Pietz. It's going to go all the way back and out of play. Hands on it with Rocky Aguirre, and she just couldn't control it in time. Brandon, no one in a crimson shirt back far enough to defend what was an impressive hit from Rhode Island.
Just like that, the Butler-Roll connection continues in this game. We saw a lot of that against Merrimack, and that's going to be a key to a Rhode Island win today.
Maddie Disu to serve for the Rams. Crimson early on the attack, very similar to play to what we saw from Rhode Island just a couple of points ago. And we're neck and neck early.
Farquhar, just a little change up, just pops it right over those Rhode Island defenders.
Service from Crimson comes from Riley Patterson. Dug in over the net from Megan Disu. Now the Crimson's turn to potentially get an attack. Dug in by Henry, and Venti saves it from going out. The long ball played towards the baseline. A kill and a big block. Emma Venti did not play versus Merrimack. Has seen limited action this year. Gets off to a good start.
Emma Venti right here, going up with that block, that big 6'1" frame, pointing back at Butler, the libero.
Getting under it is Rhode Island. A couple slow taps over the net, and Harvard recover. Now set up. Butler looked like she was going to set it up, just tapped it over the net. Now the attempt beyond the baseline, and Rhode Island benefit from the first error of the night.
Faltinsky just a little bit too much on that. Just crept right over that line into that Keeney blue, but big chance here to go on a roll.
Another kill attempt, this time dug in by Rhode Island, but can't get it over the net in time. Venti the closest to it, and she just couldn't get there. Harvard keeping this one close. Very early, Rhode Island with a 1-point advantage. Harvard, Brandon, a team used to being down. Both of their last 2 matches, they've come out victorious in 5 sets, and in both of those matches, they went down initially. They were down 2-0 against UNH and ended up winning that one. The game before, playing Merrimack, who Rhode Island just beat here a couple of days ago, were down 1-0 and again came out in 5 sets. As a good recovery there from Rhode Island keeps this one in play. Harvard looking to attack and eventually do. Collected the first time at the net, but an impressive effort the first time from Eddie Lamoureux to keep it in play as long as it was, and eventually Harvard able to capitalize at the net. Ali Farquhar having the final say, or excuse me, it was Roque Aguirre.
Fortunate right there with some great defense played by Lamoureux to give Rhode Island the possession back, but
Disu goes for it way too far. First error of the night for Rhode Island. The teams have both split 1 now.
Something the Rams are going to want to do is capitalize.
And there's another one. Service error from Harvard.
Want to capitalize off their impressive serving ability at a handful of aces against Merrimack.
They lead the A-10 in service aces now, Brendan, as you mentioned. Yet to see one tonight as Katie Butler steps up to serve, puts it in play. Harvard recover it. And the attempt just out near base, or near sideline, excuse me.
As you said, leading the A-10 with 55 aces. They're averaging just over 2 a game in their 27 sets played so far this year.
So Butler will go again. Rhode Island still in front, but just by 1. Set up, and Aguirre just couldn't get it up in time. Was trying to set it up for a teammate, but it hit the net before it could do anything. Little bit of a run for Rhode Island here, a chance to extend the lead to 3.
Butler's got 2 aces on the year, looking to make it 3.
Set up, that's going to go from Aguirre. The kill attempt this time finds it. Nice work, Bryn Valtinsky. Found the open spot on the court. No one in a Keaney blue jersey back far enough to defend.
Great placement right there. Very impressive.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those go far out. A couple of those be missed. Not that time. 7-6 now. Rhode Island over Harvard here in this first set. Best of 5 match. Disu goes for it, and just as we were talking about it, that one too far.
Was a little too much on that. Got to get it down.
Now Faltinsky sends it over. Henry digs. Butler gets it up, and Venti puts it home. Teams trading blows here early in the first set. 8-7 Rhode.
Very impressive right there. Venti, second kill on the night. Absolutely smokes it. Smokes it right by Lindsay Zhang, the libero. She's just not able to get to it.
It's one of those fundamental plays that when it works well, looks so good on court. Harvard looked to return fire here, but Butler digs and gets under it. Now Disu goes for it. Cross court, can't save it. And she'll win the point. Lindsay Zhang tried to get under it, but couldn't control.
All set up right there by a very impressive dig. Sets up Disu for the kill. Something the Rams are very good at and have been very successful with so far in the Ryan Matthews era is that setup.
That one finds some open space. Corin Fury getting in on the action. Harvard keeping it close here. Early stages of the first set. And this was very similar to what we saw between Rhode Island and Merrimack. And in fact, Harvard and Merrimack too a couple matches ago. Teams that are willing to fight, that are not going to let it go early. That one tapped over the net by Abuto, but gotten back by Harvard. They'll attempt to take advantage of it. And it looks like someone got a touch from Rhode Island, so Harvard get that point. And they tie it up for the first time since we were scoreless to start.
This game is a game of volleyball. It's always just a game of inches, just a little off.
There's the setup. Disu benefits from the net. That one looked like it was going in a completely different direction, Brandon, and the top court of the net had other issues. And we'll take another look.
As we see right here on the net cam, very, very impressive from Megan Disu.
It'll be the freshman libero to serve Dakota Henry. Kill attempt again hits the top of the net, but this time it's recovered. Butler sets up. Disu goes for it. Dug in well by Zhang. Set up by Aguirre. Again, Dakota Butler connects well. Rhode Island keep this one in somehow. Disu goes for it, but it's too far out. Rhode Island do put in some good work there defensively, but just can't finish it off.
Unfortunate there. Lots of impressive play so far this year from Dakota Henry and a couple of freshmen as well. As we said at the beginning, Haven Roll, very impressive so far in this year.
That's going to be a service error. It'll go Rhode Island's way, and they'll retake the lead. Both teams will go to their bench. Brandon, this is fair to say what we expected out of this match. Back and forth very early on. Largest lead for either team has not exceeded 2.
Definitely going to come down to just a few points in this game. Very back and forth.
Lamoureux to Zhang. She gets it well, and off the bench, a kill attempt not successful. Disu will look to return. Good block at the net. Riley Patterson gets it.
Lamoureux had a good dig right there, but just very impressive play so far at the net for Harvard. You see this block right here. Hits off of Roll. Very unfortunate redirect. Not able to control it.
Roll did get under it, but was Brandon just too close to the net. And with a block like that, there's not much you can do. Henry sets it up behind her. Disu again on that far side, the outside hitter causing some trouble for Harvard today. They return it this time, Venti. Butler sets it up, tapping it over. Was Haven Roll, but she couldn't get there. The kill good from Harvard, and look at that off the bench, Riley Patterson.
Coming off the bench hot, Patterson. The kill right here. Roll went for the block. Just out of the outstretched arms of Emma Venti.
They'll try it again. This time it doesn't work. It'll go out, and Rhode Island get a point. They were behind for the first time. Now they tie it up again.
Seems every time Harvard has gone up, both times Harvard's gone up, actually, they've immediately gone back with a service error.
Maddie Disu behind the service line now. Zhang, the libero, with the dig, and immediately Venti returns with venom, and Rhode Island attacked that point. Nice work at the net from Emma Venti. Did not play again versus Merrimack in the home opener, so we haven't seen any of her here in Keeney Gym this year.
3 kills on the day so far.
That one attempted to be blocked by, it looked like Venti again, but Ali Farquhar had too much power on it. That'll take us again to a shift up, and yeah, you just look at that. Too much power on that. Not much Emma Venti could do. A nice enough job to get her hand on it, but Harvard do all the dirty work there to win the point. Here's Butler again at the net. Now Roll. That's a kill. Haven Roll back on the sheet.
Yet again, that Butler Roll connection. Very, very effective so far this season.
That's her first of the night. She had a career-high 16 last time out. And she'll dig in and defend there. Now Venti goes for it, tries to save it. And despite the best effort of Bryn Faltinsky, Rhode Island will take it.
Just like that. Couple of good plays offensively at Butler. Roll connection. Now the Rams are on a roll as we head into a timeout.
It'll take us to our first timeout of the day. 1:15 on the clock for the teams and coaches to have initial discussions with their players, Brandon. And as we mentioned previously in the game, almost exactly what we expected, a 15-13 game. It's been back and forth. Rhode Island has been in charge for the majority, but Harvard's been right there the whole time. Now just down by 2.
I think what's going to set Rhode Island apart from Harvard is that Butler and Roll connection. It seems whenever they link up, it's almost always successful. As you said, 16 kills in the game against Merrimack in that 3-1 win just a few days ago. That's just, I can't see really any other way of pulling ahead then these two connecting. It's just automatic every time.
And talk about young talent across the board. 19 of 33 total rostered players between two teams. That's 57% of the players that see the court and the bench. Underclassmen, first year, second year students that have really taken charge of these two teams. Harvard are coming off a great year. Last year, a winning record. Rhode Island coming through a coaching change. Angel Agu, after picking up just 8 conference wins in 3 years, departed in the offseason. Ryan Sullivan takes over, and now just 3 seniors on the team for Rhode Island. Katie Butler, by the way, is one of them, and she's played an important role, but so far so good for the young talent in Keaney Blue. Made up 5 of 7 starters last time out against Merrimack, and very similar numbers here today as both sets of players retake the court. By the way, the 15-13 score, Brandon, 7 of Harvard's last 10 sets coming from those 5-set victories have all been decided by 5 or fewer points. So this one pretty destined to be close. And an early block, big momentum out of the timeout. Chloe Abudo, talk about one team leader. She was a good one as well. 5 blocks led the team versus Merrimack. There's her first, and it comes in a big way.
She's been a little quiet so far. A big, huge role in that win over Merrimack.
And the Crimson do well to get over the Butler and Abuto wall at the net that time. Slow off-speed tap. And they still here keep it within 2. It's Taylor Larkin serving. And Rhode Island are going to find some open space. Excuse me, it was Amelie Lima with the serve, but Rhode Island take advantage all the same. Wide open space near sideline, and the Rams able to find it.
Katie Butler right there just taps it over the net, just outside of the outstretched arms of Lindsay Zhang, not able to get to it.
Here is Butler on the serve. And a little bit of confusion. It looks like Rhode Island get on the better end of a call.
Not quite sure what the call was, but maybe a serving fault.
Butler goes again, 17-14 the lead for the Rams. Tapped over by Aguirre, and nice job to find that. Tucks it right in the back corner.
Very impressive right there, catching the Rams off guard. Fenty was going up for the block. She was expecting a kill, but she just taps it over into that far right corner. No Keaney Blue jerseys over there.
It's not often you see those slow speed kind of taps at the net go that deep, but that time it did, and it did perfectly. Venti Diggs get under it. Butler sets it up now. Venti again for the kill, just over the net, taps the court and hits the court. Point Rhode Island.
Just definitely looking to be a big game for Emma Venti. Has had a bit of a slower start to the season compared to her last two. He's very important in the season last year at the net, but a little bit of a slow start so far this year, and that's her 4th kill on the day.
Venti will put that one deep and give the ball right back to Harvard as soon as they want it. 18-16 getting towards the business end of the first set. Rhode Island still in front, but not by much. The libero, Lindsay Zhang to serve, one of 3 players named to the Harvard Invitational All-Tournament team. Led the team through the opening 3 games, 41 kills, 6 aces. Disu goes for it, big block by Harvard once again.
Disu gets up there, lots of power there, but Riley Patterson.
We talked about one player named to that all-tournament team. Patterson was another, and gets up and equals it at the net. Zhang gets in. Now Patterson goes for it. It ends up going to another, and it's tapped over the net. Butler to Abuto. Maddie Disu goes for the slow, crafty finish and gets it.
That one just sneaks on the line right there. There was a little bit of miscommunication with Harvard. They were scrambling a little bit following that dig, but Disu able to capitalize and just get it inside.
It was certainly close.
Very close.
Brandon, that's a really good read from Disu to recognize that the last time she tried it, Harvard had her covered. The 2 blockers at the net were in a really good position there just to tap it slowly up and over, knowing no one's behind them. Now the kill, Zhang gets a finger on it, so Rhode Island will get the point.
Great kill right there. Zhang almost able to get there, but it's a bit too much power on that. Another impressive kill from Disu. Both of the twins had a hot start to this game.
The 3-point lead equals the largest for any team. That one is tapped over and out, and Rhode Island will extend it to 4. They're 4 points away now from an important first set.
Rocky Aguirre almost able to have a cheeky little tap over the net, but just floats into that Keeney blue paint.
And we'll go to a timeout. Rhode Island have taken the first set in 6 of 7 matches in which they have not been shut out, Brandon, with the exception of a couple of shutout losses towards the beginning of the year. This is their comfort. They usually come out first, and they've been able to get that first set, including their last couple matches, including the win at PC a couple matches ago, which was their first since 2013, including the match versus Merrimack for Harvard. We talked about it before, but very much a different story. They know how to go behind. They know how to come back. They've lost the first set against Merrimack. They lost the first 2 against UNH and came out winners in 5 in all of those matches and in their last 2. And, of course, that's supplementing their 3-0 start. So this Crimson team barely down, certainly not out. Still the first set, a lot of volleyball to play, and Rhode Island will know that they have to keep this up all day if they want to give Harvard their first loss of the year. Rhode Island have retaken the court. Harvard still in the huddle.
Definitely, Nathan. And I've started to follow volleyball a little bit closer over the last 4 years. And something I've noticed is no matter how much you go up, there's always a chance for the losing team to creep back. Momentum plays a very important role in the game of volleyball. Just a hot start, a couple of kills, some digs can really ignite a team and bring them back from a deficit.
A run could end the first set for Rhode Island, but given how it's went, that seems unlikely. Harvard gets there defensively. The finish just not on point from Corinne Fury. The outside hitter, the senior out of Wilmington, Delaware, nails the net, and Rhode Island within 3 now of taking set number 1. Dakota Henry, freshman libero, to serve. That one hit off to the side, but saved by Aguirre. And forced to put it over is Fury. Butler sets it up. Haven Roll tries to get it home, and Rhode Island will let that one bounce out on the sideline. Up to their largest lead this evening, and 2 away from the set.
Nice to see Haven forcing a return error from Harvard. Once she gets hot, I don't know if there's much Harvard can do to stop her.
Again, Fury goes for the kill. Again, Rhode Island dig and get under. Kept alive, now bumped up by Zhang. This the kill attempt. That one's going to escape Butler. Venti, a valiant effort to try to get there, but too powerful and can't get it up. Harvard staying in this one.
Venti, she gets there. See right here, she's running back. It's very tough to get that ball back in play. Loses her footing, not able to make any connection on the ball. It actually goes right through her arms.
Beat the ball, couldn't get the finesse she needed. Butler to roll, and it's going to be a net violation. Harvard get a pair of points back and continue to put the pressure on Rhode Island here at their home court.
I believe that's going to get called. Yeah, I believe that's going to get called on Haven Roll. Just nips the net.
Fenty sets. Butler puts it away. Now Aguirre to Fury. Dug in by Dakota Henry. Butler again the setup, this time Disu. It's blocked. Henry gets it back. Butler again. Roll now. Finds the back, and Harvard a chance to put this one away. Big block, though, at the net. That dangerous pair, Megan Disu, Haven Roll. It's hard to get past them when they're on their form, and Rhode Island have set point.
A brick wall on the right side. Hyping up their fellow Rams. That's, again, some of that defense is what can take teams to the next level and build momentum and have them go on a roll just 1 point away.
Lamoureux serves for the set, but can't keep it in bounds. Harvard get to 20. And so for the 8th time in 11 sets, it looks like one of these sets will come within 5 points, which is pretty on theme for the Crimson.
Still yet to see an ace from either team.
Taya Piet to serve. The senior out of Hawaii to keep Harvard in this one. Butler, Haven Roll to win it, and does so with finesse. Rhode Island take the first set, and they have the advantage for the second straight match at home. The score at the end of the first, Rhode Island 25, Harvard 20. Stick with us for set two, right back on ESPN+. Wins in their last three. It's their best start since 2020, of course, which was the COVID-shortened season. For Harvard, they're trying to protect what is an unbeaten start so far. 3-0 to start the year, but they have yet to be tested on the road. They have shown that they can come back on their home court. Question is, how will they respond here in Kingston? Nathan Robillard, Brandon LaJoy, thanks so much for sticking with us here. It's been a good one on ESPN+. And Brandon, we talked about it. We expected it to be close, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem that Harvard is being dominated so far in this game. It was very back and forth up to about once Rhode Island had 17 points on the board. It was just going right back and forth. But I think what was eating at the Crimson was the fact that once they did go up, they immediately came back with a service error, just sending it right over the Rhode Island Rams. But I think so far in this game, Rhode Island has just been on a roll with Haven roll and Butler. An unbelievable connection so far. Butler setting up Haven roll for a couple kills, and even being at the net was Butler. Her and Disu have been playing good defense as well, and that's why the Rams have taken the first set.
Absolutely. 10 combined attacking errors between both teams, just 5 combined service errors through the first set. That's not really something we've seen a whole lot of, but as you mentioned, Brandon, came at a pretty crucial time at the later end of the first set. We'll see how that continues to develop an early trend in this match. Rhode Island will serve first. The libero Dakota Henry out of Loveland, Ohio. Last 4 games has started as the primary libero, as just a freshman, has played 27 sets in 7 matches coming into this game. And she'll get things going in the second. Harvard looking to strike first, and they do. Peyton Hollis opens her account on the night. A great kill to start things off, and the Crimson take the lead.
As we see right there, Disu and Roll going up for the block. She puts it right over them. No Ram able to make it there and dig, but
Butler just keeps it off the net in time to keep it in play. 2 going up to block. The kill gets over both. Look at that. It's Hollis again.
Very impressive start for her so far in this game. Just that setup again from Aguiar.
First 2 kills of the night for her at the net, going back-to-back points, and just as soon as they jumped out to the lead, it's the 6th service error of the night between these 2 teams to give Rhode Island the ball for the first time this set.
As I said right before we started the second set, right when the Crimson start to build a little bit of momentum, they just send the ball right back to the Rams with an error.
Zhang to Aguirre. This time it's Patterson. Rhode Island behind early, and Harvard smell blood in the water.
As we said, all of the games that Harvard has played so far, they went down in the first set. 2 of them they were able to come back and win, or sorry, 1 game they won in straight sets, but 2 of those games they went down first, and now they're starting to build a little bit of momentum.
2-2, another service error. Harvard came out with some fire, Brandon, but just need to clean a few things up. Rhode Island do get the lead. Or excuse me, Harvard get the lead. Well, we thought.
I think there might be an error with the scoreboard. Yeah, it's 3-1.
Lamoureux there tried to get under it and couldn't. (4-2) in favor of the Crimson. Dakota Henry with the setup eventually just bumps it over calmly. Now an attempted kill. That's going to go Harvard's way. Rhode Island did get a touch on it, even though it did go out. 3-point lead for the Crimson early in the second.
This is that role that we were talking about that any team can go on, and there's our first ace of the game.
Rhode Island let it go, and it fell just inside the service line. You mentioned aces, a theme in this game. Would have thought, based on the trends, Rhode Island might be on top, but Harvard get the first. 6-2, a 4-point lead early. Henry over the net. Harvard to reset now. Going for it and wide out is Ali Farquhar, who couldn't take advantage. Roll back to serve. It's another error. And Harvard are up 7-3. They're up big here, Brandon. And we didn't really see this in the first set, but both of these teams kind of struggling right now to keep the serve down. Very, very attacking minded in terms of playing with that back baseline.
They seem to be getting very aggressive, trying to go for the ace. We finally saw our first one from Harvard, and both teams have seemed to try and go for that all game.
Dakota Henry does a nice job to get over Faltinsky's shot, and they're able to recover it over the net and win the point.
Here, Butler just puts it right over the net. Another one of those little change-ups, something that's been very successful for both teams.
She'll serve now, Harvard to return. It's Faltinsky again, and this time hits the net. Rhode Island were up in time to block it, but it didn't matter. Butler will take it right back to the service line, and Rhode Island have cut it back to 2.
Megan Disu with another block so far in this game.
Or what at least would have been one, Brandon, as Butler now returns fire with a service error, excuse me. And both of these teams just giving the ball back and forth.
Neither of the teams have really been able to go on a roll so far. We saw a little bit of it to start this set for Harvard.
Here's the serve. Henry collects. Butler sets it up. Now Abuto goes for it. Touch over the net. Harvard do a nice job to recover. Butler, Abuto again, and this time kills it home.
Great setup right there for Abuto. Kills it right down, right into the middle of the court.
Does a nice job to break apart the Harvard formation. Didn't work the first time. They said, let's do it again. And still this this set, just 2 points. Henry the setup. Butler sets it up. Now this time it's Disu trying to put it home, but a nice dig by Zhang.
It's a great dig right there.
Butler again. Here's Abuto again, and again, Harvard able to save it. What defensive work to keep it in play, and this time, the second time, is going to strike the net. Abuto can't get it over the top cord, and Harvard are paid off for some impressive defensive effort.
Some great defense right there, all started by that dig from Zhang. Couple redirects.
Serve skims off the net. Rhode Island return. Aguirre to set it up. Hollis to go for it. Had a hot start to the second set. Rhode Island able to recover. Maddie Disu sends it. Patterson to Venti. Butler again to Disu. This time it's just too far out. It was the other twin, Megan, getting in on the action from the outside and couldn't keep it in bounds.
Great rotation right there. She's able to get a nice set, but not able to get that kill down. Something that the Rams are really struggling with in the second set.
Lindsay Zhang, the libero, played a huge role in this one. The fake and the eventual kill from Maddie Disu, not good enough. And eventually Harvard strike the net. Rhode Island win the point. They're still behind. Harvard came out hot in this set. Brandon Hollis with a couple of important kills, and it has him in the lead. 10-7 the score. Dakota Henry sends it towards the Crimson side. Aguirre to Faltinsky. They're going to get it back. Aguirre again. This time Hollis sends it over. It's touched at least by Disu, but not recovered. Crimson extend.
Just before that point, didn't quite catch who it was. I think it was Emma Venti. Had a great dig of a very powerful kill attempt, but Harvard comes out. Now they're up 4.
Butler to Disu again. Just so successful up there at the net, and what a role Katie Butler has played in these last 2 matches to open up the home slate for Rhode Island. It's just rinse and repeat for the Rams.
Right there, she just sets Disu out over on that right side and pounds that kill down to the Keeney floor.
Zhang, Aguirre, Patterson goes for it, saves it off the net. Now Hollis, another block, and the flag goes up. It'll be Harvard's point before the play was called dead.
That net violation. Another one from Rhode. She's had a couple so far in this game.
Piet to serve for Harvard, straight into the net. It's the sixth service error of the night for Harvard. And 6 important points they've given up to Rhode Island as a result.
This game could be, Harvard could be up in this game if they didn't have all these service errors.
That one just too far over, and Rhode Island take full advantage. Erin Bowman.
Her first case of the game so far.
And that one was just too far for the hands of Aguirre, Brandon. Bowman was right there to take advantage and put it away with ease.
Using that 6'3" frame, tallest on the team.
Some presence on the bench for Rhode Island. Emma Venti goes for the kill. She leads her team with 5 so far tonight. And again at the net, gets the big block and puts it away.
A great block right there from Venti. And as we were just talking about the bench, the Rams have a ton of depth, especially defensively.
Look at
anybody can go up on that net and block and have a very important role in this Rhode Island defense.
Last 2 points dominated close to the net from Rhode Island, and you can do no wrong if you want to get past them at this point. Dug in well by Rhode Island. Now Venti going for the kill, gets it, and Rhode Island tie it up.
Venti a big role in these last couple of points for the Rams. It's all tied up now. Great set right there and a kill from Venti.
Didn't necessarily get all the height in the world, Brandon, but used her wingspan to get up and over and directed it the right way. Big block now, Rhode Island getting hyped up. Erin Bowman off the bench, in on the action. A couple of big plays in the second set. It's timeout, Rhode Island. They're up 13-12.
We started the set off with a big couple of plays from Hollis coming off the bench, but now as we go into the timeout for Rhode Island, we have another big, important player coming off the bench in Erin Bowman. Couple blocks, couple points.
36 kills, 20 sets in 7 matches so far this season for Bowman. Last season was her first with URI, spent her freshman season at Virginia Tech. And she was an important contributor last year, played in all 26 matches, 148 kills, 63 blocks, and 28 digs. Comes back and makes her presence known after really not seeing all that much action a couple of days ago.
You can only attest that to the new head coach, Ryan Matthews, just getting a feel for his new team. But the Rams are already at half of the win total that they had for the entire season last year.
We'll hear from Ryan Sullivan later in the break between the second and third set. But he really talked to us, Brandon, emphasizing the point about the freshmen stepping up to the task. We saw it Tuesday. We'll see it today. Just trying to build a winning culture. And, well, 2-5 says something on paper, but the last couple of matches have shown signs of improvement for the Rams.
Definitely. And I think the play of the freshmen, you can kind of attest it to Matthews having a bit of a connection with them. They're both, the freshmen on this team both have the exact same amount of experience here at Rhode Island as Matthews. So you can only think he might have a little bit of a connection with them, and that's why they've had such an important role in the season so far.
Nice job at the net from Rhode Island. Even better job by Harvard to recover it. It's still in play as a result. Set up. And now going for it was Farquhar. Somehow over the block from Venti, they keep it in. Incredible defensive effort from the Crimson, and they'll win the point. Roll sends it into the net, and they can't believe that one didn't hit the ground on Harvard's side.
Carlos with a great setup right here. I think Rolls just wasn't able to get a full hand on it. Maybe her fingers came over it just a little bit and wasn't able to get it over the net, but
second time's the charm. They'll do it right that time. Haven Roll, a point to prove. She'll step up to serve.
A way to answer right there. Right between two Harvard Crimson defenders.
Harvard defensively have done a really nice job on some of these points to dig in, keep it in play, keep it alive, and are going to go out on the attack and win it that time. Straight into the body of Kiara McCarles, who could not do much to keep it alive.
Can't really do much when the ball's coming at you about over like 60 miles an hour. Very powerful kill right there. Almost got the dig, but just not able to get it back in play.
McCarles sets up again. Tries to find Bowman and can't. Eventually, it'll go to Rhode Island. McCarles has been in the action a lot in this second set. The transfer coming in the offseason from Mercer.
Harvard just not able to really keep any form of momentum or go on a roll. We saw it at the beginning of this. We saw it at the beginning of this set. Went out to a hot start, a couple kills from Peyton Hollis, but the Rams, as I said right before the set, you can never count a team out to come back from any deficit. Momentum plays a huge role in this game.
Rhode Island will go back to Old Faithful. Maddie Disu, Katie Butler checking in. And a brief stint for McCarles and Bowen will end for now. And immediately off the bench, Butler with a service ace.
Going to be the 56th ace of the season for Rhode Island. Butler, she just played an unbelievable role so far in this game.
She goes again. Aguirre sets it up. Big block at the net. Dug in by Zhang. Aguirre once more. Faltinsky goes for it. Venti gets a hand up and under. Now Disu goes for the kill. Kept alive by the Crimson. Here's Faltinsky again. A block rides the net cord and goes Rhode Island's way.
See right here, Disu, or actually,
looks like Chloe Abuto.
Chloe Abuto, and it just, with all that spin, just rides the net all the way down. Harvard not able to get back.
Venti to Butler. Butler to Riley Powers, who's now into the game. Aguirre gets Faltinsky for the kill. Gets it to Dakota Henry. Henry to Butler. Now Venti again. This time forces the touch. It goes out. Rhode Island get it. And just look at that body language from the women in Keaney Blue.
All hype on the floor right now, and can't quite see it, but the bench is rowdy as well. Venti, bit of a statement game so far for her.
Faltinsky first to it. She'll get set up for the kill. And just inches out. Rhode Island starting to pull away in this second set. It's been a 1-2 point set once again for the largest lead of the set. We'll head to a timeout. 19-14 the score. Rhode Island coming back from an early couple point deficit after Harvard really came out hot in that second set, Brandon. A minute break for both of these teams to head to the bench. If you're head coach Jennifer Weiss, an experienced head coach at that, what are you telling the Harvard Crimson right now?
You just got to get their tell them something that can really get their confidence up. Got to really address that. Whenever they start to build a little bit of momentum, their service errors, receiving errors, they're just not able to hold that momentum, and that's definitely got to get addressed in this timeout.
There's a look at Weiss. 3 Ivy League championships in a 30-year stint with Harvard, 2004, 2014, and 2015. She has led this team to success, the tied third longest tenured Division I coach. And she has taken charge of 7 Rookies of the Year, surpassed 300 career wins a couple seasons ago, and now in her 30th season at the helm for the visitors. Definitely has experience, Brendan, in these types of situations, as does this Harvard team early in the season. And we'll see how they respond here. Although it is close, going down 2 sets for the second straight match would be less than ideal for the Crimson.
Really tough to come back from 2 sets down, especially how well they played to begin this second set. Rhode Island's been able to storm back with good defense, especially the play from Katie Butler.
And she's back to serve now. Found success with her at the line. Faltinsky gets up, goes for the kill. Powers gets it, and she returns. Powers did a nice job to return it, and then Faltinsky said, no, I'm not letting that slide.
An unbelievable recovery right there. Sent right back to her. Perfectly. She sets it up for her, actually, and perfectly sets her up for another kill.
Powers gets under it again. Dakota Henry sends it midcourt. Venti goes for the long kill. Covered by Harvard. Hollis, slow tap over the net. Dakota can't get under in time.
Hollis with another point here. She's been one of the shining spots, one of the bright spots for Harvard so far in this second set, as we said a couple times. Started this set off hot with 2 kills.
Faltinsky, a big presence on the outside, far side, the hitter. Steps up to serve that one. The net cord benefiting Rhode Island. Zhang dives in, but can't read the awkward bounce off the net.
Emma Venti, nothing you can really do about that. Just gets redirected. Her 8th kill on the game.
Hollis smartly lets that one go out. Rhode Island give the ball away. 2017, so back end of the second. Rhode Island 5 points away, but Harvard close behind them, trying to tie this matchup at 1 set apiece.
Just creeping back in. You can never take your foot off the gas.
How about Butler and Abuto again?
Butler has been vital in this game. Very impressive so far. Her sets are working. Seems whenever she's setting the ball, you can almost guarantee there's going to be a point scored for Rhode Island.
16 assists already tonight. Riley Patterson looks for the slow off-speed tap over and can't find the right end of the net as it heads in, but Butler has really been on fire. You talk about it. Leads, or is second on the team, 97 assists, but has gotten at least 25 in all of her last 3. She's on pace for that today. She had 32 against Merrimack. Again, as we mentioned, up to 16 now. Disu taps it over. Aguirre now sets up for Faltinsky. Dug in by Butler. Dakota now back for Disu on the outside, just over the net. Crimson do a nice job to recover once again. What an effort that is defensively. Right under the net. Down but never out are Harvard, and they take the point right back.
You never give up on a play, especially in volleyball. It's something I love seeing. This is what I love so much about this sport. Anyone that's on the court is never giving up. They're always running after the ball. You can always make a play out of something, no matter where the ball goes in this game.
Rhode Island still just 3 points away, but Harvard keeping it close. Butler, Haven Roll now in on the action. And this is more like the Rhode Island team that flourished against Merrimack.
Roll coming off the bench immediately, making a statement here. Going to be Roll's 6th kill on the night.
It is Bryn Faltinsky for Harvard, Emma Venti for Rhode Island, tied with a match-leading 8 kills apiece. Now McCarl is back into the game, sets up a winning drive, and the kill from Venti puts Rhode Island within set point.
Puts Rhode Island within set point, puts her up on top of the kill game so far in this game, sneaks it right onto the line.
A few of those have been really close, Brandon. Here's the serve from McCarles. Rhode Island playing to win the second set and take a 2-0 lead. Harvard trying to prevent that from happening for a second straight match. Dakota at the net. Here's Disu, blocked over. Dakota saves again. Nice dig. McCarles gets in there. Venti into the net. And Harvard stay alive for now.
It's a good job right there by the Rams to recover there. Venti in just a little bit of an awkward situation and awkward position. You can either go for the kill, you can either go for the over the hand kill, put it back over the net. But if you put it back over the net softly, Harvard's easily able to set up a play. But she goes for the kill, just not able to get it up.
Piet to stay in it, but Rhode Island recover. A big kill to end the set. And they take a 2-0 lead for the first time all season. Harvard down by 2 for the second straight match. The final score is set to 25. Despite being 2-5, yes, that's a losing record, but it's better than it has been in a lot of years here in Kingston. We're underway in the third set. Rhode Island looking for what would be their first sweep all season. They're up 2-0 for the second straight time here at home. Harvard looking to get things going, but a good dig by Henry to keep it alive. Venti into the net, and the Crimson score first.
The wicked dig right there from Dakota Henry, as we saw heard Ryan Sullivan talking about in the interview right there, doing way more than is asked of them. He doesn't want them to feel like freshmen, and it really doesn't feel like they're freshmen. Feels like there's some storied veterans on this court.
Butler to Disu, but Farquhar has other things to say. Able to get up there with a huge block. And Harvard up 2 here early in the third. Fighting to stay in this match. They need to win it if they are to do that. Abuto taps it over, trying to get under it. It looked like was Yvette Patterson and couldn't get anywhere near the net.
Cheeky little flick right over there. A little bit of a hesitation. She looks like she's going for the spike, but flicks it right over the net as all of the Harvard Crimson converge on it. Goes right by him.
Another slow touch. Butler sets up. Roll finishes. There it is.
She's starting to get a little hot. Came into the end of that second set. Started to make a bit of a statement there. Now she starts the third set very impressively.
Tied up at 2. Again, Harvard took a lead. Again, Rhode Island come back very early on in this third set, but the Crimson going to take the lead off the error. Again, Emma Venti in charge with 9 kills. Haven Roll now sneaking up close behind her with 7. Faltinsky and Peyton Hollis with 8 and 5 respectively to reap the Crimson on the other side. Here's Butler. Roll again, and again they connect to win the point.
Just an automatic connection. It's like peanut butter and jelly out there. Can't ask for a better connection so far in this game and so far this season.
I don't know if I've ever heard of peanut butter and jelly being described as an automatic connection, but I kind of like it.
You kind of think about it. When it comes to a sandwich, you can't really think of anything that's a better connection than peanut butter and jelly.
Can't argue with there, Brandon. They're not going to find the connection on that one. Harvard too strong, and Venti unable to record the dig.
There. Too much power on that. Venti just not able to react in time to get a good dig on that.
Alexandra Farquhar, really nice job to get that from the outside. Rhode Island respond, though. Nice job. 4-4. All knotted up. Disu to step up and serve.
Again, Harvard, as soon as they go up, just a couple service errors or receiving errors, they're not able to go on a roll.
Back underway. McCarla's into the game, gets the dig. Disu comes up big, tries to make an impact, and too low into the net.
The tough spot right there for Disu. Something that's happened a couple times in this game for Rhode Island. They're set. They're going for the kill, but they're just not positioned. Set doesn't go the way they want it, and just puts a little too much on it, gets a little over the top of it, not able to get it over the net, but very tough. It's a very tough sport. Not easy in that position to get a successful kill.
Nicole Cornell was one of 4 freshmen to make her debut in the Harvard Invitational last weekend. She'll step up to serve now. Zhang tries to save it into the scorer's table. Goes Fury, and Harvard get it over again. Defensively, they've been on top of their game, but Rhode Island able to come back and shuffle it out and win the point.
I don't know, that may have gone over. I don't know if that point should have kept going. I think that would have, no matter what, been a Rhode Island point, but roll to get another point here for Rhode Island.
Power save. McCarl sets up. Here's Venti with the attempt, and a block just goes out. Point Rhode Island.
Good block right there, but in a tough position to get it back in play.
It's Rhode Island doing enough to force the contact outside. Now again, here's Fury. This time it'll work.
A little bit of fury on that kill right there.
McCarles was the closest to it. Diving under it. Her hands really weren't anywhere close to getting under it. Really nice kill and nice work from Fury.
Impressive attempt at the dig right there, but Fury just too much on that kill.
Stamping somewhat of a return. Only played 3 matches last year after appearing in 110 sets through 34 in her first 2 seasons. And Harvard are going to continue to roll here. 7-6 the lead, and they retake it.
Peyton Hollis with a perfectly placed kill all the way into the back. You see right here, nobody back there. About as perfect as you can get from a kill.
Again, Stony Brook, Northern Illinois, also part of the Carmichael Invitational, and a busy slate tomorrow. Northern Illinois in the building doing their homework. McCarl's a nice job to get under it and get the dig. Bowman in on the action. Henry tries to get it up and over the net, but that's a difficult task when you're all the way in the back corner.
That's why she's the libero. It's going to be the most athletic player on the floor. They always trust her to go anywhere on the court, but just not able. It's a tough position running backwards to get it all the way that far back over the net.
Hannah Blandley, the go-to libero for a number of years before graduating in 2023. That spot wide open, and Dakota Henry really has taken full advantage.
Big shoes to fill. Blaney was very impressive last year and throughout her whole career. But
look at that, though, from Harvard.
It's a perfectly placed kill right there. But to continue my point, I think Dakota Henry is a perfect replacement for Hannah Blaney. I think the Rams and Ryan Matthews are set for the next couple of years with her the white shirt.
It's been that same rotation, Brandon. Bowman and McCarles check out. Disu and Butler check in. But even the depth off the bench of McCarles and Bowman have been getting it done. Bowman with the latest kill. That serve tips over the net. It'll count all the same. And Rhode Island pick this one back up within one.
See, the Rams are just crawling back. About as perfect of a save as you can get. You see that with that shot right there, all that top spin.
Larkin goes for the kill off Butler's serve and nails it into the net. And now we're tied at 9. This is a must-win set for Harvard to stay in this match. They were down 2 sets against UNH. They came back, won it in 5. Now they'll have to do that again if they want to start this invitational off on the right note.
I think the Rams are starting to pick up on the fact that Harvard likes to just flick it over the net. They really haven't been fazed by that so far in this set. Most of the points offensively for Harvard have come on strong kills and unsuccessful digs. They keep trying to go to back to that well. It's just that well might be all dried up.
Peyton Hollis tried to use the outside of the hand and just sneak it over, rode the net cord and just finished on the wrong side for the Crimson.
As we see right there, they don't go for the little fake. Unsuccessful dig, nobody's there, and now they're all tied up again.
Zhang to serve for Harvard. 4 seasons in Crimson, 256 sets, 66 matches under her belt. Trying to lead her team back from behind. It's in play. Now trying to go for it is Patterson and does enough.
Right there, you can only think Harvard's going to start going for kills like that. They're going to stop with the little flicks over the net. Butler just not able to get a good hand on that.
Zhang into the net, another service error. Number 8 of the night for the Crimson. Knotted at 11 here, Rhode Island with a 2-set advantage.
Rhode Island has been very impressive defensively. 28 digs so far in this game. But Harvard up on the block side of the statistic sheet.
Zhang in for Hollis. Slow tap over, recovered by Disu, but doesn't go to anyone. Venti trying to dive in to save it out on the far side and can't do so.
Just not quite able to get a good enough hand on that to get it back up for someone to set it. Harvard go back to that little flick. Finally, it's successful in this set.
Disu up for it. Farquhar returns. Henry digs. Disu again goes for it. That'll hit the net. And the Crimson get the point. Well, be sure to stick around. It's a busy slate of games for Rhode Island and Harvard at that. They'll continue the Art Carmichael Invitational. They play Northern Illinois tomorrow in early 10 a.m. start for the first of 2 games, and then come back at 7 p.m. to face Stony Brook. Both of those games right here on ESPN+. It's Aiden Garvey and Zach Patrick who have you covered for tomorrow's action. Certainly a busy week here at home for Rhode Island. 4 games in the space of, 4 days? And so far, so good for them.
You always like to see that. Haven't really played a stretch like that since their first few games, but they went to Providence for an invitational, or Providence or Bryant, I'm not quite sure.
It was the Ocean State Cup, played all 3 in-state schools actually, and got that lone win versus Providence. Losses against Brown and Bryant. Big kill. How about that at the net from Rocky Aguirre?
It was very impressive to start the game. Had a strong start in this match. Now she's starting to make her name known again. Impressive kill.
Harvard up by 2 now, 14-12. And the service error makes that 1. Harvard not doing themselves any favors here, trying to pull away in a must-win set. But both teams have started to rack up the errors in these latest 2.
Seems like Harvard, once they go up, they just try to get a little too fancy.
McCarless now to serve for Rhode Island. Sets up and puts it in play. Dug over the net and tapped home by Disu. A little bit of versatility there, and you can see Rhode Island's weaponry at the net. The dig not in a great position for Harvard, and she's able to just poke it up and over.
Maddie Disu capitalizes off a wayward hit. Nobody there, and
how about a follow-up service ace? And Rhode Island come back from behind to take the lead now.
It's going to be the 5th ace on the game. The Rams, only team in the A10 to touch 60 aces, as we saw in the interview with Ryan Matthews from pregame.
Harvard get it right back, though. One thing's for certain with this Crimson team, they are gritty, and they are going to fight until the end. Big, big hit from Patterson. Nothing Emma Venti can do behind it. Knotted at 15, McCarl is the setup. Bowman the kill.
Nothing the Crimson could do right there. Almost seemed effortless from Bowman. Barely had to even jump. Slams it down onto the Keeney floor.
And for a pair backing up the rotation of Megan Disu and Katie Butler, who have been dominant, they are getting it done just as well themselves. Zhang the bump over, set up by Bowman. McCarl's now for roll, shallow kill. 2 in a row for Rhode Island. And now they're up.
This seems to be the momentum that Rhode Island's going to need. This is the moment in this match where you want to take this momentum and keep it going. You don't want to get too fancy with these serves. They might try to go to the back here.
Disu just too long. Another service error.
Said right there, like clockwork, both teams, as soon as they go up and start to go on a roll, they get a little too fancy.
It was initially a service error. Someone from Harvard did get a touch on it. I completely missed that. Apologies for the error there. Rhode Island continue to hold the ball 18-15. Maddie Disu, 2023 member of the all-rookie team, sends home a serve that is not returned. That is going to count as a Rhode Island point. Got that right. It's 19-15. Rhode Island 6 points away from their first sweep of the season. It'll go into a timeout.
You see right there was a great shot. A ton of topspin there. Just creeps right over the net. Nothing the Crimson can do.
4-0 scoring run for Rhode Island to bring them back from behind. It's been neck and neck the entire way, and Harvard never get under 5 or 6 points behind before coming back, Brandon. This is something they've done through this part of the season, but now it is crunch time for them to avoid their first loss of the season.
Definitely. And Nathan, you asked me earlier, what do we think is going on in the Harvard huddle? What do you think is going on in the Rhode Island huddle right now? What do you think Ryan Matthews is telling his team?
Rhode Island are playing with momentum right now, but even when they fall victim to the error, even when Harvard play great defense, as they've been doing all match, Rhode Island have been able to recover, come back, and they really haven't been in a deficit at all today. For Ryan Sullivan and Rhode Island, keep rolling. You're almost there. You've got to now finish the job. 2 players up to 10 kills now for Rhode Island. Emma Venti, Haven Roll. So for Roll, it's a second consecutive match here at home with double-figure kills. For Harvard, 8 and 8 for Hollis and Faltinsky to lead the way. Disu serves to Harvard. Going up for it is Faltinsky. tries to kill McCarles, sets up Venti, slow tap over, kept alive. Zhang sets up now. Fury with it, big block, but it's again dug and saved. Faltinsky slow tap over. Longer rally, probably the longest of the set. Fury goes for it, gets it. And Harvard finishes the job.
Just creeps in there. Maddie Disu's there. She just thinks it's going to go out, but it creeps right in, hits right on the line. It's a perfectly placed kill right there. You could even see right there before the camera panned away. She was a little shocked by it too, that it crept in.
Well-placed effort from Corinne Fury. Rhode Island, they've seen their run broken out of the timeout. Crimson have done really well out of the break to keep this one close. It's a 3-point set. Roll taps it over. Harvard in a good position to take advantage. Fury goes for it and gets it. Rhode Island behind all of the sudden in this latest run. Harvard have crept within 2 points of the lead.
Just some smart play from the Crimson. They're not trying to be too fancy. They're playing a little conservative, playing smarter. A couple extra passes can set you up for success.
Riley to McCarles to Venti. Here's Crimson's turn. Big dig from Dakota. Henry Venti again. This time gets it to Zhang. Good recovery this time. Crimson get it. It's another point. This time it's Taylor Larkin, the freshman, getting the job done.
The Crimson finally seem to be going on a roll.
How about that? 19-18. It's a 1-point set, and Harvard are not going down without a fight. Can they tie it up? McCarles roll says no, and Rhode Island up to 20. Who else but Haven Roll to break the streak? And we are neck and neck in the business end of this match.
Haven Roll with her 11th kill of the game.
Make that 27 in her last 2. Riley Powers under it. Venti over by the seats to collect. Powers again puts it over. Dug in by Zhang. Harvard need to recover and do. McCarles again. This time it's Bowman. Saved again by Harvard. Now Fury goes for it. Over the net, blocked. Abuto saves it. It's still in play. Now McCarles. Bowman the slow tap. Zhang digs, Harvard save, but it's point Rhode Island. What a point. It's 21-18, and this team needs to battle. It is taking a Herculean effort to win a point for either of these sides right now, but Rhode Island do the job.
Herculean. What a word.
I don't think I've ever used it on a broadcast before, but it felt like a fitting time.
That felt beautiful.
Venti goes for it. Block initially saved into the net.
Both of these teams not going down without a fight, especially Harvard. They seem to just be clawing back whenever they can. A great block right there. Venti not able to recover. Down 2. Harvard's needs to win this here.
4 points separate Rhode Island from their first shutout victory of the year. Harvard are not making it easy. Bennett Truby is the newest member of the Crimson with the kill. The freshman making the impact again. She's another one of those 4 debutantes we saw in the Harvard Invitational.
Riley Powers not able to get a good enough dig to keep it back on the Rhode Island side to set up a kill.
You can see why Jennifer Wise on Harvard has coached 7 rookies of the year in her time. That one not recoverable. Rhode Island within 3.
Erin Bowman again with another point. She's been very crucial in the late few points of these Rhode Island sets. Jumping to her left. We get a good dig, but nobody is able to recover. Lindsay Zhang, she makes the run for it, but just not able to get there.
Timeout, Harvard keeping it close. This is a fantastic defensive team that Jennifer Wise is putting out there to be down, to be 6 points away from getting swept. 2 sets down, you've been in this position before. They are refusing to give Rhode Island any semblance of comfort here. It's 22-20, and this, Brandon, easily could be far from over. On the Rhode Island side, 3 points is all it takes to get you to that first sweep. It would be a monumental occasion not only to go 2-0 at home under your new head coach, but to do it in such a dominant fashion after that win versus Merrimack heading into that doubleheader tomorrow. Brandon, a crucial timeout for both of these teams.
Definitely, I think Ryan Matthews is just going to say something to keep the Rams' confidence up. These 3 points are going to be what seem to probably be the toughest 3 points of the game that they'll have.
Megan Disu getting into it a little bit. Rhode Island feeling the momentum right now. This has been a resilient battle, a hard-fought battle, and we might just be coming to a close. It would be unfortunate if it ended in 3 purely for the entertainment standard of this match, Brandon, but Rhode Island won't care about that much. Butler here sets it up. Abuto goes for it. Saved again by the Crimson. Zhang sets it up and into the net. Unfortunate mistake for Bennett Truby. And now 2 points away.
Truby just gets her hand over it a little too much, not able to keep it over the net. It was a perfect placement on that set, but now just 2 points separate the Rams from their first sweep of the year and a hot start in the Art Carmichael Invitational.
Butler to do it. Zhang digs in. Again going forward is Hollis and just sneaks it the right side of the baseline. And Harvard stay in it.
Hollis has been very impressive in this game, and those kills all the way in the back, just hitting the line. And even if it went out, I think Megan Disu got a little touch on it, so there was a point regardless.
Zhang to stay in it for Harvard. Up at the net for Butler. Abuto, this has been deadly, but Harvard able to save it this time. Fury now. Hollis goes for it. Slow tap. Rhode Island can't control. It's a 1 point game.
As I said, those 3 points for the Rams are going to be the toughest to get, especially against the team playing they're in so much desperation to come back and keep this game alive, down 2 sets.
Back underway, 23-22. Butler back into play. Now Disu goes for it. Not enough power. Set up. Patterson forces a block into the net from Abuto. And all of a sudden, we're knotted at 23.
Knotted at 23, but if the Crimson are able to come back and win this set, this is an entirely different game. All the momentum is on their side.
An incredible effort from both teams in this third set. Harvard take the lead. It's set point Crimson. From 4 points down, Rhode Island could see the win in their rearview mirror. And instead, from 2 sets down, Harvard are within touching distance of taking one back.
Harvard in that rearview mirror like a Ford F-150 with their high beams on, and you're in the left lane, and no matter how fast you're going, it's just not fast enough for them. And Harvard able to claw back, as I said a couple times in this game. No matter what, in this game of volleyball, you can never count a team out from coming back. You always have to keep your foot on the gas pedal. Ryan Matthews definitely just instilling that into his team. This is a crucial timeout for both sides as well.
24-23, a reminder, if Rhode Island score this next point, you do have to win by 2, so we will go beyond 25. And Brandon, I don't think anyone in this building will complain about that.
Lots of entertainment here, especially for the NIU Huskies sitting to our left, doing their homework on both of these squads.
What a start to the Art Carmichael Invitational opening night early in the season. You can't ask for much more. To win the set from 2 sets down for Harvard.
Feel like Zhang, she might want to put this deep. Obviously the Rams, as we can see, they're playing back. They're setting up back, and you can only think Zhang is going to go for the ace here to finish it off and really cap off this third set with a statement point.
A pause, but we're back in play. Harvard looking to win the set. Butler gets behind. Disu needs to tap it over. Saved. Zhang gets under it again. Hollis to Dakota Henry. Butler again. Here's the kill. Venti goes for it. It's blocked and over the net. So Butler will go again. Slow tap Zhang off the ball. Once again, big match for her. And Harvard win it. Ends it off with a kill. 25-23 from behind, and it'll take at least 4 for this match to come to a conclusion. From 2 sets down, the Crimson do it again as the third set finishes Harvard 25, Rhode Island 23.
Start, couple kills. They went up 2-0 in both, but the Rams eventually started to claw back. The Rams went up. They were within just 2 points of winning this entire game and having their first sweep of the season. Now that point is moot.
How about a 5-0 scoring run to come all the way back from behind and win the set for Harvard?
I only wonder what Harvard's coach said to them in that final timeout. Like I said, for both squads, going to be a very important timeout at a very crucial moment in this game.
Now, this happened against Merrimack for Rhode Island as well. We talked about Harvard's history, but it was a much more lopsided set. Merrimack came out and killed them in the third set. This one much closer. So this is a really good test for Ryan Sullivan and the depth of his team early in the season. How do you respond to situations like this when you've put it all out there for 3 sets worth as much as 2 points away from taking it all? Now you've got yourself on the back foot again. You need to reset, come back, and try to do everything you can to eliminate this Harvard team. But boy, they have shown you all day long that they will not go down without a fight, Brandon. Ripped out the phrase Herculean effort, which you complimented me for. But that's really what
I loved it.
It's really what it takes for either of these teams to win a point right now in this last set. And so an exciting set underway, the fourth and potentially final set of this match, but it feels like there could be a different outcome. Rhode Island win the first point, and we're off and running here in the fourth.
Going to be a very, very important start for Rhode Island, but I think something that's going to need to happen for Rhode Island is they need to go back to the well of the Butler-Roll connection, or even the Butler-Abudo connection. Butler has had an immeasurable amount of assists so far in this game. She's been very important.
Both teams came out of the locker room to start this match, and, well, one Harvard player almost went back into it trying to get that save.
I think that would have taken a Herculean save,
right?
You might say.
Zhang backwards gets it over the net. 2 Rhode Island players tripping over each other. Butler, though, to Venti, and her attempts just too long. Harvard on the board now in the fourth.
Venti just a little too much on that. Tried to go for that back corner. She's not able to find the mark. Venti would have tied Haven Roll in this game with 11 kills.
Rocky Aguirre to serve. Had 109 assists across 3 games in that Harvard Invitational. Playing a little bit of a different role today. Doesn't have one yet. Or excuse me, I am looking at the wrong player there, Brandon. That is my mistake. She has 24, so the same role.
Yeah,
the same role.
She's actually
less surprising.
She's actually hitting 1,000 right now. She's 100% accurate so far in this game.
Not surprising numbers, and Harvard bring it back. So 3-2, and it looks like we're set for the same ride we've been on for the last 3 sets, Brandon. Back and forth. No team has really gotten separation more than 5 or 6 points for a significant amount of time.
You viewers at home are going to want to strap in. It's going to be a bumpy one.
What a match it would be if Harvard forced 5 for the 3rd consecutive match. Really interesting storyline for them as they play here as well. And of course, up next for them, heading back to another tournament. They're staying here on the East Coast, Delaware State tournament. They'll face off against Delaware State and NJIT, as well as A10 opponent George Washington after they're done here in Kingston with their set.
I think the Rams are going to be a good test and a good taste of the A10 for them so far. And the Ryan Sullivan, sorry.
Very similar name to a high school friend I learned off there.
I don't know why I keep doing this, because I saw him today, and the name is just in my head for some reason.
If Harvard keeps this alive, that would be impressive. Diving back to try and get it was Taya Piet, and couldn't get a hand on it ultimately. Rhode Island up 5-3. Haven Roll now to serve.
Right here, Roll with another kill. They're almost able to get a good dig on it, but just off the mark.
Big attempt. That time, Taylor Larkin, and yet again, Harvard unable to find it.
Right there.
Aguirre sets it up. It's off the nearest post and will go Rhode Island's way. Farquhar might have had it if it didn't come and hit that net, but a game of inches, Brandon, and the inches benefit Rhode Island.
Definitely hot start for them, 7-3. Be a statement in this final set to win it. Only wouldn't have gotten that sweep that we were talking about to start this invitational. Would have been nice.
Aguirre to Fiore forces the touch.
Still haven't really seen it yet. That Butler a Budo or Butler roll connection. Obviously, Butler and roll have come off the floor.
Bowman out of bounds trying to collect it. Vente will have to put it over and give it to the Crimson. Setting up his Fury, slow tap. Bowman recovers. Behind the back, gets a right hand on it.
Very impressive from Bowman, falling away from that ball. She's able to poke it just right over the net. Not a single Crimson defender there. Falling backwards, a fadeaway. Fadeaway in the historic Keeney Gym.
Katie Butler serves it. Cornell now to Fury. Big kill dug in by Dakota Henry. Nice save. Abudo goes for the far corner. Can't find it.
Just a tough spot right there. Moving to her right, not much you can get there. There were too many Crimson defenders in the middle.
There was a touch on it though, Brandon, and there was.
I am mistaken.
I mean, your points aren't invalid.
It's a tough kill to make right there, moving to your right with all those defenders.
I mean, if not for the skin cell of the Harvard blocker.
I didn't even realize that went off anybody.
Back in play, Rhode Island up 5. Vente goes for it. Good dig by Zhang. Now set up for Fury. Back end of the court, but will force the touch. So that's what we're saying, Brandon. Sorry to interrupt you there, but that's what we're saying. They're down by 5 right now. Rhode Island's on a streak.
Falling backwards, a fadeaway. Fadeaway in the historic Keeney Gym.
Katie Butler serves it. Cornell now to Fury. Big kill dug in by Dakota Henry. Nice save. Abudo goes for the far corner. Can't find it.
Just a tough spot right there. Moving to her right, not much you can get there. There were too many Crimson defenders in the middle.
There was a touch on it though, Brandon, and there was.
I am mistaken.
I mean, your points aren't invalid.
It's a tough kill to make right there, moving to your right with all those defenders.
I mean, if not for the skin cell of the Harvard blocker.
I didn't even realize that went off anybody.
Back in play, Rhode Island up 5. Vente goes for it. Good dig by Zhang. Now set up for Fury. Back end of the court, but will force the touch. So that's what we're saying, Brandon. Sorry to interrupt you there, but that's what we're saying. They're down by 5 right now. Rhode Island's on a streak, and all of a sudden they pull out a play like that and continue to keep themselves in this game.
Something we really haven't seen from Harvard is those dominant setups. Haven't really had a ton of strong kills, statement kills, something the Rams have had so far in this game. Emma Vente with a couple of those.
Vente goes for it again. This time collected by Harvard. Zhang sets up. Hollis goes for it. Pokes back over the net. The return from Disu.
Disu starting where she left off. Very impressive so far in this game. At the net. Her and Abudo both get a hand on it. Nobody there.
Rhode Island with a 5-point lead in this 4th set, among the largest for any team tonight. But that is not going to provide any level of comfort, given how this match has gone from Harvard. Rhode will make it 11-5 now.
Rhode, you're starting to really take control of this match and this set to finally close out this match. Something they wanted to do in that last set. They were so close, right on the precipice of the first sweep of the year for them.
Cornell, nice job to save. It's sent back over. Butler sets up Abuto now. Zhang digs in, but can't find it forward. It goes out. Rhode Island up 12-5, now 7, the largest lead. And the Crimson will take a timeout to recover. While Harvard on top in the kill game, 45-41. Attacking errors, though, has been their Achilles heel, 21-16 for Rhode Island. Service errors as well, 41-37. Crimson are above. There is a look at, again, the experienced head coach, Jennifer Weiss, 30th season, 3-time Ivy League champion, 2014 Ivy League Coach of the Year. And Brendan, we talked so much about it, but you can see out on this court why it is she's coached 7 Rookies of the Year.
Definitely the freshman flavor in this game so far. Been very prominent for both sides, but the Crimson is very strong with that young game.
What are you telling them in the timeout right now, if you're the visitors?
Basically whatever was told to them at the end of that third set, just to fire them up. They were down 5, went on a 5-0 run to finish that third set. But now As I had said just before this set, all the momentum was with Harvard coming back, especially to stop a sweep, something that would have been so sweet for the Rams, their first sweep of the season, especially against an undefeated opponent. It would have been a statement for the rest of the A-10 to look at, that they're going to be a formidable opponent once it comes to conference play. But I think you got to just do whatever you were doing right at the end of that second half, of that third set. Smart plays, making that extra pass, good sets, and strong kills.
Well, they start things off well out of the break. They don't even have to touch the ball. Rhode Island give them a service error.
Venti just a little too trying to get a little too fancy right there. Both teams have done it once they've gone on a bit of a roll, and I think you just got to play smarter. And now it seems the Harvard, whatever was told in that timeout, has started to really be instilled in this game.
Hollis matches Disu's drive, and it's not often you see that from someone at the net. But Megan Disu matched and exceeded by the blocker. Here's Hollis again, slow tap over. Butler hits it back. Now Dakota Henry sets it up for the other Disu, blocked again. And again, it's a Harvard point. Both Disu sisters shut down in back-to-back points, and Harvard bring it within 4.
They're clawing back. Never a doubt that Harvard has the ability to come back. As you said, against UNH, they went down 2-0, and no matter what, they're able to fight back and battle through the adversity, and it seems they've done it so far in this entire game. And in that last set, as we said, they went on a 5-0 run to finish off the third set, and now clawing back within 4.
12-8, set number 4. Rhode Island playing to win it, Harvard playing to force a fifth for a third straight match. Butler to Abuto, driven in. Zhang sets it up. Hollis goes for it. Dakota Henry again. Butler again. Here's Disu, taps it over. Still in play. Zhang sets one up. Another kill from Harvard. Venti hits it back. And out of play. Crimson win it.
Not able to get a good block on that. Not able to set up anybody. Just too much power on that. Believe it actually may have redirected off a blocker at the net. Wasn't ready for it.
Fenty, another hit back. Henry sets up. Disu again, too far.
Crimson are just clawing back, but I think they're not even doing the clawing back. I think it's Rhode Island that's just handing them these points. Easy kills that they can get. They're set up perfectly. Disu has been so successful so far in this game with those kills. Just, again, a little too much effort.
5-0 scoring run for Harvard. They've brought it back within 2. This is exactly what we were talking about. A 7-point lead evaporated for Rhode Island. Trying to get into it more. Hollis gets it right at the baseline. A big kill, and it's a 1-point set.
It's a huge point right there. Forces the timeout.
And there is a look. Henry closest to it, but no one in the area code. 12-11. Rhode Island lead narrowly, but Brandon, that means very little.
Definitely. No matter what, any lead can get chopped down in half or even just chopped down to 1. In this minute, Ryan Sullivan is going to want to talk to his team and get them back to where they were at the beginning of this set. They went up. They were up as much as 7, I believe, in this set.
Providence, Merrimack, no question, those out the window. This would be the biggest win of his young tenure if Rhode Island can pull it off. On Harvard's end, they've been here before. They've done it before. They've won from this position before. So this is a true test of grit, a true test of character for a very young team as compared to another very young team with a very experienced head coach. 2 battles going at it early in the season. This is some of the best volleyball both of these squads have played up to this point. And you got to imagine going into conference play, no matter the results of this game, you're pretty confident heading into that thick of the season. Again, we're still very early, but man, Brandon, this has been some quality volleyball.
Very much enjoying having this call shared with you. And as you said, Harvard's been in this position before. They know how to come back. And the Rams, they haven't really been in a position to be up 2-0 and have anyone claw back so far this season. So they haven't really played anybody that's playing with as much desperation as them, as they did go up 2-0 against Merrimack, but the Crimson are just really trying to claw on and keep this season undefeated, keep it perfect.
The Disu drill back in full operation. Wins the point for Rhode Island. They're up 2. Now Hollis going for it. Venti digs. It's going to go just over the net. Rhode Island, that's a tough one to save. And Harvard did a nice job to force the contact there, able to put it away right at the net. We saw Rhode Island doing that pretty well earlier in the match. This time it's the Crimson that get it done, and it's the freshman Bennett Truby who's played an increased role in these last couple of sets.
The tough one to save. Venti was able to get the dig, but not able to keep it on the Rhode Island side.
Haven Roll's going to do it that time, though. We've seen a lot of big kills, but it's also that play at the net, Brandon. How aware are you when you have blockers inches away from you on the other side? What are you going to do in that situation? And that's an impressive show of vision from the freshman Haven Roll to be able to get it up and over.
That was a great setup from Butler.
And now a service ace will follow it up. Rhode Island back up by 3.
This is the role that the Rams are going to want to capitalize on. They got to stay strong. Don't get too fancy, as Harvard did in the last set. Made a couple extra passes. They were able to have some nice sets set up for some great kills, but
Hollis, kill, point, Harvard.
Just like that, like clockwork. Couple extra passes, slow play, calm play. They're able to get a very powerful kill right there. No Ram able to even get close to that.
Rewind the tape, play it again. It feels like that replay has been repeated tonight. But no, it's just been that increased presence from Hollis, and Venti miscontrols. Or excuse me, Carly Pinnell miscontrols the pass and goes out. Harvard back within 1. To the surprise of absolutely no one, the Crimson are sticking in this. Taya Piet serves. Pinnell collects. McCarlas now sets it up. It's Haven Roll. Zhang will step up on the other side. Fury blocked, saved, and initially, at least, Rhode Island win the point.
I believe Bowman got a hand on that to keep it back over the Crimson side. I'm going to get a replay right here.
Yep.
Right there, Bowman able to get up, block it. No one able to get a good hand on it from Harvard. Just a tough couple of redirects.
Slow tap over. Patterson does it. Carl's at the net. Now Haven Roll again. Fury kills right into the hands of Henry. Battle at the net. It'll be a touch, a net violation, and it'll go to Rhode Island.
That's a great dig from the young freshman. Just enough backspin to keep, actually not enough backspin to keep it over. It just creeps over the net, but Roll able to be there for the block. Nobody on Harvard able to get a hand on that, but it's a great kill right there.
How about Patterson again coming up big? Play at the net has been the story of this set. And a powerful shallow drive down in the court.
Just a tough one for Dakota to get to. She's had 16 so far in this game.
Dakota Henry sets it up for McCarl. Shallow. Now saved. Here's Fury. Big kill attempt. It'll go in and find that line really, really well.
It just stays in, just on the line. It's a perfect kill right there. Can't ask for better.
No touch right on that line, and it's point Harvard all day.
Catalina Hendricks didn't want to go for that, but the tough play to let up.
Venti's effort stopped at the net. Rhode Island able to get it back over. Fury sets up for another kill. This one's too far.
Just a little too much right there. Almost was able to keep it in, but everyone on that Rams side and the bench knew that was going out. Chloe Abudo coming in this game, very important at the net so far here.
Aguirre comes over to set it up for Fury. This time, Rhode Island able to get under it. McCarl sets up now. Abuto forces the touch. Into the stands and out of play.
Right after I say it, a big play at the net. Zhang not able to get good control of it.
And they'll take a timeout. Harvard call the players to the bench 19-16. So very, very similar to the third. Rhode Island in this position. Harvard rallied back with 5 straight, but they still can't find a way to consistently hold the lead, Brandon. It's been these late comebacks that have kept them in this set. Rhode Island, once again, you're right back where you were, 6 points away from the win. The sweep out of the question now, but it'll matter all the same if they can get it done in 4. Ryan Sullivan and his team resetting and going again. 3-point lead. And let's see what they can do with it this time.
Just a few words there from Sullivan. You can only wonder what he was saying, but potentially a couple expletives. I believe I read his lips a little bit. Nothing we can say on air, but it seemed to hype up that entire team.
Rhode Island the first back out to the court. Harvard just getting done with the huddle. Northern Illinois have decided enough's enough and left. They will prepare for a 10 a.m. meeting with Rhode Island tomorrow. Part of a 3-game slate in just the space of 24 hours for Rhode Island. So the question again after this, Brandon, is if you had to play potentially an extra set more than you've wanted to with 2 more games tomorrow, that might play a factor as well. But tonight, the focus just on this match. Aguirre sets it up. Big drive and big kill. Ali Farquhar goes cross court and finds some open space.
Farquhar with a perfect spot right there. Nobody near. Only McCall.
17-19, so it's a 2-point game. Rhode Island in charge. Business end of the 4th set. It feels like we've been there before. That's because we have.
Huge couple of points coming up here for both sides.
Abudo forces it. Block not successful. And Rhode Island up to 20.
Huge play at the net right there. Bowman and McCarless coming off for the dynamic duo. Butler, Disu. Butler, Disu, Venti, Henry, Hendricks, Abudo.
Tensions rising here as Rhode Island trying to close it out for the 2nd straight set. Fury drives one. Dakota Henry. Butler now to Abuto. Slow touch finds the court. It's 21-17.
Pressure? What pressure?
Poise and finesse at the net from Chloe Abuto. Look at that, setting up for the kill and just gets it right over the outstretched hands of the pair of blockers at the net for Harvard. Back in play, Rhode Island 4 points away. Harvard say no. Another big play, another crucial moment, and we're still in a 3-point set.
No matter what, Harvard is always in it. It's a kill right there from the freshman, Bennett Truby. No one able to get to that.
Fury to serve. She's played a huge role at the net today. Will get a crucial point underway. Venti trying to send one in. It's a costly mistake as it heads straight into the net. 2-point game. Rhode Island still 4 points away, but a 4-0 run hard to come by in this match.
Venti just a little too over the ball there.
Fury to Henry. Butler now. Disu goes for it. 2 contact made, and eventually Harvard again do a great job to get it over. Zhang with the final touch. Goes for the dig. That time not good enough. Touch by Harvard. Point for Rhode Island. 22-19. Same scoreline that we were at this point in the 3rd set. And it was Harvard who came back and won it.
Abudo just keeps it inside.
3 points separate Rhode Island from a 2nd consecutive home win.
But 3 points separate Harvard from Rhode Island.
And the service not controlled by Zhang. It'll be 2 now for the Rams.
Again, those 3 points are going to be the toughest to get, especially playing against a team down 1.
It was early October of last year, the last time Rhode Island won 2 in a row. They're 2 points from doing it here. 23-19. Hollis to end it. Blocked. And now saved by Harvard again. Other side. Venti with the dig. Now Dakota Henry to put it over. Can Harvard set one up here? Big drive. Again a dig from Venti. Butler sets up. Abudo taps it over. Zhang gets under it. Hollis setting up for it. Big kill. Venti again. deep and then miscontrolled by Butler, who has been fantastic in these last two matches. But another costly mistake for Rhode Island. Emma Venti defensively giving Harvard no room to breathe. And despite that, 23-20, Harvard get one back.
Just a little miscommunication between 20 and 21. Butler and Henry already had a little miscommunication before that. I don't know if it was, you could see it on the screen. Butler screaming, calling it for her, saying mine. But Henry, she sent it back over, but a little bit of miscommunication between the two of them. And now Harvard is starting to creep a little back.
An uncharacteristic mistake at the worst possible time for Rhode Island. You cannot let Harvard have anything in a situation like this. But again, all you got to do is win 2 points and it's out of mind.
These are the most crucial points in the game. Just needing 1 or 2 are the hardest points to get in a game for either side. We need 3 to tie for Harvard, 2 to win for Rhode Island. You can only wonder what both of these head coaches are saying.
Almost shocking, Brandon, that one of these sets hasn't gone past 25.
Definitely. That third set definitely seemed to start creeping towards going over 25 points, but those 5 straight from Harvard took it for them. And now if they get 5 straight again, we're at the exact same point, 23-20.
It was at this point in the third set where Rhode Island were 2 away. It was at this point Harvard strung together 5 straight to win it. If they do so now, they'd fourth a fifth, and it's a good start for the Crimson. It's a 2-point game, and Rhode Island need to find a way to cross the finish line if they want to avoid a 5th set.
It was a great set there. Pinnell perfectly placed over the net, but 2 blockers there.
Serving is Zhang to the reverse libero Henry. Venti puts it back in. Butler over the net. Patterson to go for a big block by Abudo. Match point, Rhode Island.
It's a huge moment right there in this game. Abudo goes out. Roll is in. There was almost a little bit more. There was a little more miscommunication from Butler and Henry. Henry now with the serve, looking to end it for Rhode Island.
The freshman out of Loveland, Ohio.
She would love to end it here with an ace.
To win it for Rhode Island. A back and forth thriller of a match. And we'll take a brief pause as we'll head over to dry up a slippery patch on the court on Harvard's side. Well, we had it set up, Brandon, so that was bound to happen.
That was so disheartening. We had so much momentum on this call.
Dakota Henry, the freshman, serving to win the match. Set up Hollis going for it. Block at the net. It's kept up by Patterson. Now she'll go again. Hollis another attempt. Dug by Henry. Not saved. And Harvard keep the match going. 24-22. It'll be a second straight match point coming the Rams' way.
They had a good block there. The Rams at the net, but just gets sent back over. And Harvard's able to set up another play. No one able to get to that. Butler was going after it. She was just not able to get there. It was going to be a tough play regardless.
Aguirre serving to stay in it for Rhode Island. The drive, Haven saves it. Now it's Butler. Another big dig, another point. It's kept up and into the net. Wow, Harvard are going to go down in the most valiant possible way if they do go down. But that is still a question. Despite 3 straight match points, the Crimson giving Rhode Island no room to breathe.
They're going to go down with honor.
Aguirre doing it again. They tie it up. This is unbelievable. 3 match points, and Harvard stay in this. We'll go to at least 26.
Scenes here in Keeney Gymnasium. Such a historic place to see such an impressive game from both sides.
Scenes is right, Brandon. Aguirre, Rhode Island cannot get it over. What about this? Set point Harvard. On 2 separate occasions, Rhode Island have been within 2 points of winning the match. And on both, Harvard have clawed their way back. They have set point now to force a 5th. Aguirre, dug by Henry, up to Butler, back to Venti. It's out, and we are going to 5.
What a match.
For the 3rd straight match, Harvard come back from behind and force a fifth. And this is not over yet. Final score in the fourth set, 26 Harvard, Rhode Island 24. Other end of the break, don't go anywhere. We're bringing you the fifth and final set of this match. In straight match, they were in this position against UNH. They did it. The question when they were down two is could they do it again? The answer so far is yes. And we are just moments away from a deciding set. So this will go to 15 to decide the match. And we said it once, we'll say it again, we'll say it a third time. A real test for Ryan Sullivan in his first year as head coach. If Rhode Island come out on the right end of this, it will be the best win without question of the season. But they've been within 2 points of doing it on 2 straight sets and haven't been able to get it done, Brandon. Harvard with a pair of 5-point runs to save this. And we're still going.
You can only wonder if Rhode Island throughout the season following this is going to be able to capitalize on those late leads and finish strong. So far in this game, the first 2 sets, yes, but the last 2, Harvard's just been able to claw back just like they have so many times so far this season. Just a couple, not so many, not too many games played for them this year, but the 2 times they've been able to do it.
We're just moments away from the 5th and deciding set, a back-and-forth match, and there is no telling which way this one is going to go until that final point, Brandon. Again, Rhode Island got to 23-20. That was their biggest lead, end of the third. Harvard strung together 5. They got to match point, had 3 of them in the 4th.
Got to the exact same point in both sets, both closing sets.
Rhode Island aren't playing bad. This is full credit to Harvard right now.
Full credit to Harvard. They have unbelievable resiliency.
They have not cracked under pressure at all tonight. Underway in the 5th set. Abudo looks to get it started. She gets it back at the net. It'll be a violation against Harvard, and Rhode Island open the scoring in the decider.
Just like the last set, they open up, they start. The 2 before, Harvard had started out hot, but now Venti, Butler, Disu, Pinnell, and Rolls.
Disu back into the game. That is Megan Disu. Butler sets it up for Venti, who's had a great match herself. Now into the net for Harvard. It's initially saved, but Rocky Aguirre and just can't get it over in time. Rhode Island 2-0 the lead now.
Something that seemed to be a bit of an Achilles heel for the Rams in that final few points of that last set was Butler and Henry. A couple bits of miscommunication. Now,
great awareness at the net from Haven Roll. We've seen it all match. We've seen it the last 2 match. The freshman able to do it all. And you just see it there. A little bit of confusion. Maybe caught in 2 minds there at the net for Harvard. Just had to send it over. And unfortunately for her, Haven Roll was there. Unfortunately for Rhode Island, they'll give it right back. It
was perfect timing for Roll. Jumping up perfectly. But Dakota Henry, also the young freshman. Just a couple service errors so far. You can only wonder if those didn't happen with the Rams have closed this game out possibly over an hour ago.
Crazy to think we were a couple points away from being out of here and done, but no one complaining here. A brilliant match so far. Back underway in the point. Big kill from Fury.
It's a beautiful kill right there. No one able to get to that. No one even attempted to get to that. There was no shot at getting to that. Perfectly right between Butler and Venti.
Taya Piet back at the service line. Senior out of Hawaii. Butler sets up roll again. Not going to find the court. Harvard do a nice job letting that go, avoiding the touch. And we're not at 3. Surprise, surprise.
Been one of the most back and forth volleyball games I've seen in my time here at the University of Rhode Island.
Piet to serve. Butler at the net, sets up, roll jumps, gets it. Nothing Harvard can do.
That's a perfect kill right there. So much simplicity and such minimal effort. Just shoots, kind of slingshots it down. And
in personal news, it's evident I've only brought enough water for 4 sets.
I think I also have as well. I think it's just down to the ice.
At the scorer's table, Aguirre does a nice job to keep that in, almost tripping over the officials. Now Bowman, who's back into the game. Good dig from Harvard. Aguirre sets it up for Fury. Big kill, but bombed over the net by Henry. Aguirre again for Fury. Again forces a touch. This time wins the point.
It was a great dig right there from Henry, but just not able to capitalize off it. The Crimson take over with another strong kill. A hand at the net from a Rhode Island blocker, but no matter what, it would have been a point.
The net has been almost fully covered all night. It is a credit to these setters and attackers doing the job, getting it past them. Big kill, as I mentioned that. Bowman
coming in a big spot. He's been very, very strong at the net.
A reminder that this goes to 15 to decide it. So all of a sudden, this early knot becomes a whole lot more important. Riley Powers re-enters the game. Aguirre, Fury, again, that one finds the outside, touched, and it's point Harvard. 5-5, anyone's match as it has been the whole night. You wonder where the late set composure was from Rhode Island that was able to close out the 5-point deficit in the first two. Harvard woken up and kept it close the whole way. Venti on the return. McCarles for Haven roll. Now Venti back at the net to tap it over. Dug in by Bowman. Set up from McCarles roll again. That kill untouched into the court. And Rhode Island take the lead.
I think the next couple of points like that are really going to decide this game. Only going up to 15. Going to be a very important few points.
I feel there's very few volleyball matches that will end with more total points than this. What a save that is from Roll. Off the body of Venti, she gets it back over. This one's still in play. Now another kill attempt. Dug in by McCarles. Kept up by Bowman. Venti goes for the kill. Impressive on the other end. Fury for Harvard. Kept out. It's point for the Crimson.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. No one can seem to pull ahead.
How can you possibly win a point right now? That is the question these Rhode Island players are asking. All of the answers provided by the visitors. It is a 6-6 knot here in the tie-breaking set. McCarles to set up. Rhode Island will keep going for it. Bowman with a powerful drive into the court. An important kill at 7-6.
As you said, how can you possibly get a point? It's almost as impossible as getting a good parking spot on this campus.
That is the unique struggle of a student broadcaster, I suppose.
Personal note.
I mean, I did give you the water thing, so I'll give you the parking thing. That's fair.
I park quite far away.
Another big kill not collected. Hollis, despite the best efforts of Rhode Island, getting the better of them. I've said it before, and you almost hate sounding like a broken record here, but no room to breathe, really, for either of these teams. Lindsay Zhang to take the lead.
Feels so clustered. No one able to pull ahead. No breathing room.
Butler, Disu, out. Harvard lead.
These last couple of points are going to be very, very crucial as we see both teams switching sides.
And as is the custom here in the tiebreaker, 7-8, Harvard in front. Both teams will take the opposite side of the court in an attempt to finish out this deciding set. 25-20 Rhode Island, 25-19 Rhode Island, only to be countered by 25-23 Harvard and 26-24 Harvard. The scores of the first four that have gotten us here. And for the third straight match, Harvard clawing their way back from behind. This time, potentially in the most dramatic of fashions. Abudo goes for a big kill. Again, Chloe Abudo, the sophomore, coming up big at the net. That's no surprise.
That Abudo-Butler connection, so good so far in this game. I can only wonder why they haven't both been on the floor too often together.
Venti serves. Harvard do a nice job to keep it at the net. It's going to go into the scoring table, and there's nothing Hollis can do. If that scorer's table was about 3-4 feet back, she probably would have gotten there.
100%. She was flying in there, but
call that home court advantage, if you will. Could come at an important time for Rhode Island.
Very important.
9-8, Rhode lead. Venti, 10 kills today, now third on the team behind Haven Rolls 11 and Chloe Budo's 12, and Rhode Island are going to get another point here. They're up to 10. And where have you heard this one before, Brandon? They're 5 points away.
A number that just haunts these Rams. As we saw right there on that play, Zhang and Fury, just a little bit of miscommunication. No one able to make it to that ball and gives the Rams that 10th point. But as you said, 5 points away seems to just not be an attainable goal for them so far in this game.
Is the third time the charm? That's the question for Ryan Sullivan and his squad.
For both teams, actually, is the third time the charm.
I suppose, yeah. If you think about it from Harvard for the first two, the third and fourth time were the charms for them. Now they need the third charm. That works.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I was wrong. Never mind.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. You've given me a couple freebies tonight, so more than happy.
I also called Ryan Sullivan. Ryan.
Both teams back on the court for this one. Not much else to be said. We'll let the match speak for itself. Rhode Island up by 2, and once again, they're 5 away from the most important win of this young season. Service over the net, hits the core, dribbles shallow.
About as perfect as of a serve as you can get, as close to an error as you can get. That top spin just knuckleballs over Emma Venti's teammates and just clips that net.
Rhode Island 4 away now from the 5-set win. Hollis blocked, point, Rhode Island. A touch of the net will do it. Harvard couldn't control, and Rhode Island are 3 points away. Harvard hot on their tail. It is Emma Venti putting together a late match streak, potentially one of the most important of the night for Rhode Island. And she'll look to continue that momentum here. Serving to bring it within 2.
Going to be one of the most important points of the most important point of the night for both teams.
Hollis into the net. A mistake at a crucial time and puts Rhode Island just one step closer to the win.
Going to a final timeout. Harvard has been capitalizing on those timeouts. They came out of each final timeout of the last 2 sets hot. They were able to come back, and can only believe the exact same thing that was said in those huddles is going to be said here. Just play it smart, play it safe. Don't get back on your heels. Just play a calm game for these last couple. They're within 5 of Rhode Island. Rhode Island's within 2 of 15. Going to be a very, very important couple of plays for both of these teams.
Don't let the score fool you. We have been here before. Where will we go from here? The question. 13-8 Rhode Island in a 15-point tiebreaker. For the 3rd straight set, they are 2 points away from wrapping up this match. The last 2, they weren't able to get it done. Now Ryan Sullivan in potentially the most important huddle of his young Rhode Island career. Emma Venti will step up to serve. This is for match point.
Got a couple great serves. Last 2 serves have just thrown Harvard for a loop.
The outside hitter, redshirt junior, sends it into play. Hollis goes for it. Dig by Henry. Butler has it. The setup for Venti. She'll go for the kill. Palmed up and kept alive. Hollis again with it. The block into the court. Not over the net. And this is what Harvard has been doing best all night.
It's a great kill right there.
It's like textbook stuff, Brendan. They go down by 5. Rhode Island can smell it. And then they say, not so fast. The not so fast has turned into about an hour extra of volleyball here.
Peyton Hollis with a great kill right there. Could be the turning point for Harvard.
Butler for Pinnell. Big block again. And Harvard have it within 3. Rinse and repeat for the Crimson. This is where they operate best.
Feel like I'm living in a loop. Just the same thing for the last 2 sets. Harvard just able to claw back. There's so much resilience on this side. So impressive from them late here in this match.
Stress is probably an understatement for the facial expression of Ryan Sullivan and his team right now. Harvard almost benefit from being behind. It's unreal.
Something I rarely see in any sport, a team playing better when they're behind. I've only seen it a couple times in sports that a team just plays better from behind. Harvard seems to have done that all year, especially here tonight.
We got a match in our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
So much adversity that they've battled through in the past couple of games. Such a strong side here, looking to keep their undefeated season alive. The Rams are looking to close out a match, that they should have closed out a couple.
Brendan, we were so
set
close.
To go.
We were so close.
But it's turned out for a great match and a great call for the both of us.
13-10, the Rhode Island lead, Harvard to serve. 15-point tiebreaker, we're on the crunch time. Big block again, Butler can't get it up. It goes under the net and in for a Harvard point. 13-11. It's a 3-point scoring run from Rhode Island. My laptop could not survive the match. The battery's gone. And it's all going wrong here in Keeney Gym. Dakota Henry. Disu collects. Poked back up by Harvard, and Butler to Dakota Henry. Now Pinnell has to tap it over, initially setting up for the kill. Gives time for Zhang to set one up. Now Butler, Abuto, slow tap, recovered. Aguirre, Hollis. Butler keeps it up. This time it's going to be saved by Rhode Island. Henry forced to just bump it over. Both players going for it for Harvard. Aguirre, Hollis again. That's out. Rhode Island have match point for the second straight set. They could win it here.
They finally got it, and you've got it here, the freshman.
So will the setup result in the match win? It is Dakota Henry, the freshman libero, to win the match for Rhode Island in 5. It's in play. 4th match point for the Rams. Dig by Butler. It is up by Henry. Diso with the kill. Rhode Island win. An intense back-to-back 5-setter goes the way of the Rams. And for the first time in 3 matches, Harvard unable to take it in 5, but what an effort it was to come back from 2 sets down, from 3 match points down, and force the decider match of the year for Ryan